I am suspending my presidential campaign.
Dogged by allegations of sexual impropriety, Herman Cain has now officially suspended his campaign for the White House. While Cain's exit narrows the Republican field just a bit, it also sent the remaining candidates scrambling to woo his supporters. But who will they side with, and who stands to gain the most? Solon Simmons is a professor at George Mason University who specializes in American politics and joins us now from Washington. Thanks a lot for joining us, Mr. Simmons. First off, suspended, what does that mean exactly? Does that mean he's out of the race or what?
Well, effectively, it does mean he's out of the race. I think that it's possible that he could get back in, and that's this language of suspension opens that door for him. I think the most famous example of this for me is 1992 with Ross Perot, who suspended his campaign for personal reasons and then got back in later and did quite well. So we could imagine Herman Cain coming back in, but it seems quite unlikely, especially given the nature of how his rise came and fall directly followed in the reasons for it. So he's probably out for the count.
Considering all the allegations, are you surprised that his campaign lasted this long?
Not really. I mean, campaigns tend to linger. Go back to the last example of the Obama and Clinton struggle. These things go on for a long time, even though they seem like they're over. And so I think that it makes sense. But in the end, this was really a simple story. I think that there were personal issues that Cain knew about. Obviously, they were serious enough for him to get out. I don't think that these were simply fabricated. So I think this followed a script that makes quite a bit of sense.
Who's the big winner from him suspending his campaign? And is this going to be a situation where Newt Gingrich steals the race before Christmas?
Well, we'll see if Newt Gingrich can come in and do that. I think that the Gingrich story is really fascinating. I mean, Gingrich is one of the reasons why we talk about dysfunction in the United States and in the United States government. It goes back to the 1990s, and Gingrich is part of the motive force for that. So I think if Gingrich can hold on and grab this support for Cain, what we'll see is an ideological confrontation going back to the roots of the conflict in the 1990s. Gingrich looks poised to do so, in part because the Republicans don't like Romney. They're grabbing, they want some authenticity, and Gingrich has that. It's really, you know, think about why people don't like Newt Gingrich. They don't like him because he lost. He lost to Bill Clinton. That's what people are really upset about. And so if he can come back and show he's a winner, people will get behind him, and they'll forgive him for whatever transgressions he may have had in the past as well.
Usually when a candidate drops out of a race, there's a look to who they endorse once they're gone. Does anybody really want Herman Cain's endorsement?
Yes. You know, Herman Cain is damaged as a candidate, but he's not so polluted that he can't be helpful as an endorser. I mean, look at Donald Trump, who's still incredibly important in the race, and it'd be harder to be more of a troubled figure in Republican politics than Donald Trump, given the whole birther imbroglio. So I think that, yes, it matters quite a lot, and it matters because it suggests where do conservative values go. Herman Cain, ironically, stands for conservative values, market principles, conservative religious values. He appeals to a voter that no one would have imagined he would, and so he can direct all of that energy where he'd like it to go, or can help. I also think, though, that the Cain voters, the people who support Cain, are very idiosyncratic. They might just make up their own minds. One really doesn't know. It's a primal electorate on the Republican side, and it's just wide open. And I think Gingrich is perfectly poised to grab hold of this, and he knows what he's up to.
This Republican race has been absolutely fascinating. Solon Simmons, thank you very much for joining us.